Due to time constraints, I couldn't find a regular series race to do that had a lot of people in it, but I did find the Swan race and there were only 10 of us, so I figured that was going to be good enough. Then when we took off, I see that we also had the A's and the B's. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. This race was going to be more of an experiment than I intended it to be. Now that my last on-the-road climbing road race was done, I started to move away from the adaptive phase of lifting onto the heavier phase of lifting. And so lifting in this case means deadlifts and squats, lunges and box jumps. I will talk more about that, but let's go to the action on the screen. So what's happening is that we've seen that group ahead of us, and those are going to be A's and the B's, and so my group is starting to chase them. While I had a good enough warm-up, my legs are really starting to hurt, and that's because this race is taking place on a Tuesday, and I did my deadlifts and squats on Sunday. And that, of course, means I only had one day of rest. My legs are hurting so much that I'm not even thinking I can complete this race, and I'm looking at the mileage at the top, and I have 15 miles to go. Now, while my group, the C group, had 10 people in it, overall we had 44 people. And right now, as you can see, I'm sitting about 31st, 32nd place. We are stretched out to the max, but we connected with the front group, so right now, I'm in the front group. The next thing I need to do is get myself toward the front of this group to get myself a little bit of buffer. You may be asking yourselves, this is still the race season. Why are you doing squats and deadlifts now? Well, the answer is that next year I'm going to be 70. And whenever you turn into another 5-year age increment, you go to nationals. And that's what I plan on doing, so I'm starting a little bit early. While I'm trying to move up, it's like a governor's on my legs. I can go only so hard, and then I can't go any harder because my legs start to get bogged down. Around the middle of our stretched out group, a gap is starting to happen. A lot of the A's and stronger B's are trying to pull away, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. Right about here, I'm thinking about jumping over to 37-year-old Mario Marquez Martillo from Brazil. He only has a 1-second gap on us, but it's still almost 14 miles to go, and he's a Category A, and I'm not. So now, with about 2 kilometers into this race, we have about 19 or 20 that are up ahead, and I'm in a chase group. And I don't know how many C's have made it up there. My being able to finish in the top half in the C's and overall, well, that's still in question. I look at the graphics on the right, and there are 8 in my chase group. There's, again, 19 or 20 up ahead, about 9 seconds, and then, more importantly, the nearest group behind us are 10 seconds back. Pretty much I'm just trying to survive now. I don't even think I'm going to make this halfway. All of a sudden, 46-year-old Jean Sisu, tooth cyclist YouTube from Chile, and I'm guessing he's a dentist, takes off strongly. What makes matters worse, he's a Category C like me, so now I have to go chase him. Everyone is chasing him. 53-year-old Sean Knight from the United States is also chasing him and doing a better job, as his gap to Sisu is now just about only 2 seconds, 5 seconds ahead of us. I thought these guys were gone. Jumping ahead a bit, we kept chasing, but all of a sudden these guys slowed up. When we connected with them, 52-year-old Andrew Hong from the United States counters. Now we're chasing Andrew. He quickly comes back, then I counter. You're probably asking why I'm countering, especially since my legs are feeling the way they do, but I look at the graphics on the right and the little insert map in the upper right-hand corner, and there was a group that was coming on to us, and they were about 3 seconds away. If I was to have any chance of finishing in the top half, then I can't get caught for these guys. I was hoping the others in my chase group would see the same thing, and maybe it looks like they did. Still keeping my eyes on that little insert map, I see that there's a rider that's fallen off the main group. That rider's about 15 seconds ahead of us, and that gap is dropped. It looks like the leaders are about a minute up or so, and we have another group about 25 seconds ahead of us. The rest of my group are trying to bridge up to that rider that's coming back, and I'm at the back end just trying to hang on, thinking maybe this is where I get dropped. To make this long story short, we jump ahead about 5 miles. As it turns out, I couldn't keep up. I'm back here with 33-year-old David Findley from the United States, and up ahead of us are Category C riders Knights and the Tooth Cyclist and the other Bs that left us. At this moment, I didn't realize that David had a ghost power-up that he activated. I thought he was dropping back. All of a sudden, he's 3 seconds ahead of me. I have just under 3 miles to go, and I don't have a lot of muscles left. At least leg muscles that are functional. I can't even generate 300 watts of power. With riders getting lapped in this race, it's hard to determine how close somebody is behind me to catch me. As it turns out, I didn't catch anybody, but nobody caught me. And I did finish in the top half. I got 4 out of 8 in the C's and 18th out of 44 overall. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. The next video I'm going to be putting out is of this road race I did, this on-the-road road race that I did. And it'll be coming out pretty soon. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that little bell. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.